It just took her to snap him out of it. But if she's not there, they all die.
I bet Sue wishes that she never got her force field. And this is why, because after she gets it, all she'll ever hear is, Sue, cover us with your force field. Sue, create a force field to do this. Sue, do this, do that. So enjoy your little piece here, Sue. Because when you get your force field, you're just going to be told what to do from then on.
She doesn't get as much intellectual pieces once she gets the force field as she does here, because Stan and Jack are trying to come up with ways for her to use those powers creatively, like when she steals Doom's gun right before he fires it off.
I think she's doing them well with what she has. I also like that they go into, she's actually smart. She's trying to make the serum that makes it where she can't be tracked by dogs, stuff like that. So I like that they're going into her, intellectual ability.
So in the movies, she's a fellow scientist, and they give beautiful Jessica Alba a pair of glasses to show how smart she is. but in this, how did Stanley, why was she there?
She was there because she's Reed's girlfriend.
But that's it?
She's the one who got Ben Grimm to pilot. And she wouldn't do that if he didn't let her go. That's why she's there.
But they're not even boyfriend and girlfriend yet, are they?
She has a crush on
flirting
him.
with Ant-Man, Submariner, that.
What about the use of Reed's abilities here?
I'm not sure I'm not sure he.
They're gonna use him to become a bridge. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, they're gonna use him for a bridge. That's the villains, but
I know.
he doesn't do a whole lot with his abilities. You're right.
Yeah.
No.
Other than when they're shrunken, he's actually fighting This whole story, Reed is kind of impulsive.
Yeah.
He's shoving cures down things' throat, and I think it's because he's, in shock about Doom, but.
Yeah, they didn't really know anything about Doom up until like halfway through the story. I'm not sure, honestly. I feel like they were just kind of letting him sit back while they give everyone else a little more spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I feel like he's been doing a lot more of like the planning and intellectual stuff like that. Like he had a big part to play throughout the first few issues. So
I like the panel that they almost get sucked into an event. Ben, help us! I've invented time machines. I've invented sentient robots. I've done this, and I've traveled into space. But I can't escape this air vent.
Let's talk about the favorite moments. For me, there's two favorite moments. One is when Thing is shrunk and he ends up scaring the crap out of Reed's guinea pig.
Yes, who is offering him
a beetle nut.
A beetle nut. Yes. Look at that sweet creature. He wants it.
Also, I love when Thing uses a tower as a baseball bat and knocks the slaver ship out of orbit.
That part's amazing.
Ben had a very good issue here.
A good word.
He was funny. They used his powers to but he pouted a little bit. Panel when he first sees Ant-Man, he's making fun, cracking jokes left and right. This is Thing. There is an Easter egg here. Here, Thing sees Ant-Man and he says, well, brush my teeth and call me Smiley.
Yes, brush my
Now,
teeth.
the reason why he does that is that Stan Lee was born early 1900s. I don't remember exactly the date. At that time, toothpaste was not a normal thing. People would brush their teeth with just water. Stan, through his whole life, pretty much did that. This is a story that I heard from Stan himself. He said that his dentist would give him a hard time about the fact that he didn't use toothpaste. Instead, he brushed his teeth with water. This is why this line is in here, because he's known as Smilin' Stan Lee.
I'd say definitely when Ant-Man gets inside of the little cannon thing. I made a comment to myself when I was reading it. I was like, how powerful is that little gun where it'll shoot his tiny little body all the way across town? Like that's insane to me.
That is some awesome Kirby tech.
Yeah.
Other than the death trap, that's probably my second favorite Kirby tech in this whole thing, is when he fires halfway across town in this little cannon thing on, what is that, page 3? Or no, page 7?
Was it to save time or something? In the movie, he just gets on his flying ant. What, are you not doing that?
Yeah, I think it's
to save time. Yeah.
Why does he? Okay, so
because he's gotten a phone call coming in. Remember, initially he hears from the ants about the Fantastic Four. I don't think if it had just been the ants and he didn't get the call,
the actual audio,
I don't think he would have done it this way. Plus, it looks cool in the artwork.
Yeah.
I think it's because of that he figured he needs to get there right now.
But come on, he shoots across the sky and he has these two ants waiting.
Two ants
for
catch him. Yes,
and
that is brilliant.
And then they're like, okay, well, I can barely see you. What does the thing say? Oh, he doesn't need even elevator shoes wouldn't work. So he's talking to them down there. Why doesn't he just turn back to his human side.
Well, he probably doesn't want to waste the gas,
Waste the
enlarging gas.
Yeah.
Because remember, he has a limit here. This is not the Atom where he can just, go back and forth. Pym has to be much more careful.
So Reed happens to have this.
He has a crystal magnifying amplifier.
Crystal magnifier. I think he should have been like, open some holes in here or something.
Well, he does have holes.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can see him.
We'll put some holes in the top for you, Ant-Man. And tell us what's.
So, what was your favorite part of the issue, other than the crystal magnifier?
Well, I like Doctor Doom. He's an interesting character. Reed Richards shoves this thing down, so without making him lower the piano, by the way, because I was in such a hurry, I forgot you were holding a piano.
Thing is holding a piano for Alicia, and then Reed comes bursting in with the cure.
Puts the thing.
He shoves it down Thing's throat, even though Thing doesn't want it. As Ben Grimm, he becomes Ben Grimm. He can no longer hold that piano with one hand, and it crashes to the floor.
Now, Alicia is blind, but I'm starting to think she's lacking some other skills, because listen to this. Oh, Ben, my darling, are you hurt? Why do you feel so different? Well, for one thing, he doesn't feel like rocks anymore. He feels like a human being. So you're not putting this together. And also, she's supposed to be able to hear fairly well, I imagine so. And doesn't she hear everything that just happened with her beloved Ben? Reed giving him the formula, Ben hating the taste of it, Ben choking and saying, hey.
Well, the piano falling is shocked her.
Oh, is that what it is? It shocked her. And she's hugging him in physical contact, still wondering, why do you feel so different?
She just heard
and I don't want you to change. I'd rather you be Rocky,
She just heard a large piano fall and freaked out.
Okay, no prize for you. You get jackets.
She might have been just walking in the room while he did that.
Yes. Stanley's getting a warm feeling in the ever after because of Jack's no prize in the which is nonsense. All right, Sue baby, I'm okay. Nothing's ever gonna change us and all that. All right. So I like that he wanted to give her sight. I mean, they can do all these things. You'd think somebody would get her sight.
Right. Well, that's one of the things.
That's one of the things.
And this becomes a recurring plot point.
Yeah. The Silver Surfer temporarily gives her sight in the 90s, I believe it was.
He does, yeah. And, but Thing makes a point of trying to get people to give her sight.
Mole Man.
Right, the Mole Man issue. He tries that.
That was a good one.
We will actually go into that one later on.
But what did I like about it? It just reminds me of a simpler time in the world. They've got a wacky villain who has a wacky idea to trap them in a wacky way, and it's all very innocent. Nobody's trying to teach me anything. They're not trying to teach me who to vote for or who not to vote for, or how I should feel about this or that. They're just selling comic books. Stanley did have an agenda, and that was he was totally against racism, and which is awesome. But like I said, this doesn't have
any
of
that.
And
here you have the villain attempting to sell them into slavery, which could also be a shot at the whole racist idea, which is good. That stands.
Yeah, did not.
And no one here is in favor of slavery.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have like robot slaves, but someday that'll be unpopular too. So if you hear that, robots, when you take over, I'm just joking. I love you all. Don't torture me horribly.
The world's gonna be walking around with Doom bots.
And there you go. Now, Jack's artwork in here, I love the battle scenes. I love the big scenes where you have multiple characters when you're in Micro World.
Yeah, and that's not easy.
I like his posing of Doom. He makes Doom ultra arrogant throughout this whole thing, which is why it's believable that Doom thinks, okay, I dropped him in acid, they can't go anywhere. Because he's just stuck on himself throughout this. It's like every time you see a pose of Doom, his hands are at his side, or he's pointing at somebody, or he's doing some regal thing. To me, it just brings out what's wrong with Victor.
Yes. Believe it or not, my favorite Doctor Doom was the crossover with the Spider-Man Superman crossover.
Oh, with Parasite.
With Parasite, because the art was awesome. It was classic Doom. Doom had these grandiose schemes to take over the world. Just nailed his character so perfectly, and I just loved Doctor Doom in that. So this Doctor Doom I like, but I love the finished Doctor Doom. I love the Darth Vader-y Doctor Doom, and as we know, Doom came first. Darth Vader was a child of Doom, and not the other way around.
So anyway, Ryan, what did you think of the artwork in here?
Yeah, so I noticed that a lot of the artwork is getting, better as time goes on. What especially struck me was the Human Torch.
Yeah.
The art on him is fantastic now. Like, you can actually tell it looks like a human body.
Yeah,
sometimes you have the face. You have the facial. A lot of that is coming along really nicely. The fire is looking nice too. I also like how you guys had mentioned when they're in the micro world, you have like all the different characters in the background and just so stuff like that is really nice. I like how all the art's coming together.
There's a point where the Doom tells the, or what? That's not Doom saying it. It's the.
Is it the alien? Well, I
it's
think
the
he's telling him what.
Perla, the king, the captured king of the king and queen of king and princess of Microworld, tells the Fantastic Four what these slavers want them for. You have Reed being like a bridge for the army for weapons movement. You have Thing as a mining tool. You have Johnny as an army,
wars.
Fighting their wars as and you have Sue as a scullery
And that,
maid.
you ask me my favorite part, that is my favorite scene. Right here, this poor girl, there's no poof in her hair or anything. It's straight down. She is, the expression on her face, they nailed it. She
looks
is
so mad.
miserable.
Yeah.
She is bringing them their food, which looks like potatoes or something. They're grabbing it without saying thank you. It's just not a very good place for her to be, but it was just a great.
It is a great art shot by Jack Kirby. It makes Sue look completely miserable. And she is definitely one of the big heroes of this actual issue. Ryan hit it. Johnny definitely looks way better in here. He also has multiple moments of being a kid, which is, he is one, so it's perfect. He has impressing the high school kids, the weenie roast. When it comes to Princess Perla, I think Ryan would explain it best.
Yeah, I noticed too. He instantly just like dropped everything for her. He has all kinds of charisma. Just goes up to her and, oh, for you, I turn off my powers, and he's just kissing her hand and all of that. So I mean, I think he's got that, like, I guess you would say, yeah, like the childish confidence kind of thing.
What do you kids call say, Riz? Is that appropriate?
I'd say so, yeah. He's got it because she falls for him too.
See, I know a new and millennial word, Riz, which I apparently do not have, but...
And Ben, being the annoying older brother,
Yeah, he
interrupts
Johnny.
interrupts Johnny putting his moves on Perla. And he's like, "Come on, Squirt, leave the speeches for Tony Curtis. We got work to do."
I would not like that, man. I mean,
I like his response too. Let go, you big ox.